Oh my
Thank
God,
you,
it's
Instructor
Cody
Jen.
Jojo.
You're welcome.
I got my certificate today.
Oh my God, I did too. My mom
Yeah.
just walked into the room and I was like, guess what? I got my diploma.
Wait, through email?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think they sent a physical copy because do we have to provide a physical address?
No, I don't think so.
So I was
I'll email Mike.
because I was in the car yesterday and I was like thinking about it. I was like, wait, if they send me my diploma by mail, like which address are they gonna choose or like send it to? So I was like, nah, we probably just get it by email.
Yeah, you could probably just print it out if you wanted to.
Just wish there
But
was
my
color
mom-
on it.
My mom
Yeah.
literally just walked into the room and she was like started like talking to Samantha and like they were like screaming and I was like, you guys know I'm still in class or like in a meeting. And my mom was like, well, as far as I'm aware, you graduated. And I'm like, yeah, I just got my diploma actually today. Thank you very much.
Doesn't mean I don't have human contact though. Jeez.
Yes.
Well, some
Not up
people
in
would
here.
beg to differ.
That's
This
true.
This is still class, guys. I'm still in school. I still didn't graduate.
It's so weird to not
We
be
still need to
in
learn.
class.
Exactly. I will be in class for the rest of my life.
That's
That is-
right.
I tried to retake C#. They wouldn't let me.
Oh, really?
Did you really?
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Mhm,
Why
yeah.
not?
Not for free anyways. But
Oh, if you pay,
yeah.
yeah.
they said I had to pay, like I could, but it would just be like the alum package where you do self-pace and it's like $100 registration. I was like, nah, it's okay.
Wait, I thought so you can join like a class?
I think you can, but you have to pay for it, like it's extra $500.
Yes, I
want,
heard it's like a $500.
I don't want to pay for it, but
We can just have George teach us, right? Who else here? Oh, we can have Ed teach us and John and Serge.
Serge.
What?
Yeah, for real.
What?
You guys are gonna teach us C#, thanks.
Okay. So in
He's
that
like
case,
first
you
things
guys-
first.
You guys are going to teach me Java too. Because I'm pretty sure there's not like a
Sure.
big difference between
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
and Winter. Winter is probably the best one, C# because like she love it. And
Mhm.
she can basically like teach you more than I.
Sweet. Okay.
sorry to take things off subject. Go ahead, concentrate.
Okay. Let me read.
Let me...
So we're gonna want a for loop, right? To go through each character.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we start from the back of the string.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once we hit a space
We know where the beginning
on the
of-
last.
so-
Word.
Yeah.
Our word length is I. When we hit a space. Well, if we start the
Because in the second example, we start with a space, but I guess we could just find a way to work around that.
start with a space.
In the second example, yeah. If we were going backwards, we would start with a space too.
Oh, okay. So there's two conditions. There's a start and end condition. So start condition is you find a character, end condition is you find a string.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, so if you, well, it'll have to be something like, oh, if you find a space, but you haven't found a word yet, keep going. And then you
Yeah,
can
that's
find
what
a
I'm saying.
word.
Like that, there's a start and end position.
Yeah,
So like haven't hit the start condition yet, haven't hit it yet. Okay, now we're
and then
starting.
the end condition.
Now we're ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whip out that for a loop.
just use a counter every time it finds a letter.
Counter plus plus.
Yeah. So
What's
we
it doing?
we can't use I anymore if there's a bunch of spaces at the end of the.
Oh, okay. There is writing the code. I was like, he's not writing anything.
Yeah, it was on the other screen. Okay.
Should we make it I is greater than or equal to 0?
Let's
Go all the way to 0. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, Ruben.
Yes. For a second, I thought Joe said hi, Ruben, and I'm like, did Ruben just join?
Yeah, right.
Same.
Oh,
I
imagine.
could have sworn he said something about Ruben.
Same.
Big fan. I'd be like, hell yeah.
Like, hey,
Same.
Ruben, do Algos with
I
us.
said, can I get a Ruben?
Oh,
Oh,
Get it, Ruben. He's talking about food.
I was like, he's either talking about Ruben or just like a freaking sandwich.
Actually, I think I said we can't even.
We can't even. You can't even.
Yeah, space. Wait, no, not equals.
Yes. If S of Y doesn't equal empty.
Not equals space. We can start.
okay. I see where you're heading.
Okay, would you wanna do the counter up there? Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. No.
Um,
So we're in it, and then
Do a count. If start word count plus plus. Wouldn't it just work?
let's for let I equals I that length. I said with the window open and my throat is all wiki wacky.
If you just said on line 12, count plus plus, wouldn't it say like not count until it finds the letter and then count until it doesn't find the letter? So you could
Yeah.
say like if start word equals true and then it also finds a space, then you're done and you just break.
Oh, so that if it doesn't find a space, then it stops?
It doesn't stop. So until it finds a space, it doesn't stop. And then once it sees a space, it breaks, it stops.
done. Yeah. At that point, yeah, we'll
Just return it right there.
Yeah,
Return
can't you
your count.
just
Just return your
s-
count.
can't you just say break and then return
yeah,
You
I
don't
guess I
need
can
to-
just return at this point.
Yeah, because it'll break it if you return it and you just want to get what count is at that point.
True.
hmm, is this what you would do return?
I mean, I'm sure there's a fancier way to do it. I'm just kind of brute forcing it here. So else count. It's not a space. Add to the count.
Don't you have to return something at the end of your for loop?
That
Or
would
it's
be right.
okay because you're
Oh yeah. If we if the string is literally all spaces,
Then we eventually
we'll
return.
eventually
Yeah.
we'll just return 0.
Yeah, that works.
Or count. Count's gonna be 0 anyway. So,
Right.
true.
but like,
Open.
See.
so is that it?
I'll plug in a example and see how it works.
Console log as an example.
Say we make Nolan do the next one.
Thank
Oh,
you.
You're welcome. Do them all, Nolan.
Dude, Joe
Yeah.
knows. Joe knows that I struggle.
I struggle
Yeah, I
too,
think
but I don't
from
want to.
now on, whoever feels like they're struggling gets to be the lead.
for
And then
sure.
I'll-
That would help them a lot.
Oh, guys, I am a
Good.
master at algos. Like, I know every single algo. Like, I'm a pro.
That means Diana's gonna be after me.
No. I
Um,
have to leave soon either way.
Nope. See, cop out. You're definitely next now.
No, I'm actually leaving soon because my
Nope,
sister's
bye.
going to school. No,
So
no.
it ran as 12 for me.
Oh, let me
When
run
I
mine.
put in hello world, it printed 12.
Oh, I'm not even writing down stuff.
My output came out at 6. I have the same thing. Oh, now it's
So
not
it- 2.
Okay.
Say
Counted as spaces and then ended.
If it's not a space, then it should be true. And then if start word is true, then
Yeah,
if SI equals space, return count.
Yes.
Do we need a count plus plus in the if start word section? No, we're
should be
still in
right
the
here.
for loop.
So yeah, if we start the word, that means we found a character already. So even if we start out and we immediately find a character, start word should be true, so we'll immediately go into this if statement. And then obviously there's not going to be a space at the current position, so it's going to go to the else statement. And it's going to add, oh, I don't need that then. Still has, I don't think it's solving anything, but
Guys are
that's
recording.
true.
Yes.
Hi,
Hey,
George.
George.
Hi.
George.
This is class, man.
Yeah, we're in class. It's Aldo.
I
I
D.
need a doctor.
oh
So if start
Oh,
that word is true,
well now I got 6.
see, -6 now.
are you guys using the same example? Moon?
Yeah,
I'm using
Fine, what's
hello
in the
world
name?
though.
Oh. So you should have 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
wait, how do I know if I'm using?
This is wacky. Why is that happening?
try putting a
Next
second
time.
X equal sign after your exclamation point at
Maybe.
on line 9.
I did that and it didn't change anything.
I mean, I just want to see what's happening. What the hell it's doing?
Yeah.
Oh, are we starting the wrong spot here? Oh. Yeah,
Or you were not going
Oh.
from behind.
one.
From behind.
From up the butt.
Nolan.
All right.
So that worked for me this time.
4. Okay, yeah,
No.
it's the fact it's starting off in undefined.
Yes, that was our problem.
Talking about.
Yeah, so starting
Perfect.
from yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Noom.
Wait, isn't? Okay. We good now?
It was
Lucky is-
accepted.
Is still
That
joy.
is so
Okay.
joy.
Lucky is still Joy Boy. What the hell is that?
Sounds legit.
Oh yeah, I need a joy boy.
He's still-
Are they talking
Yo, without
about
me?
are they
said he
talking
wasn't-
about
No
Lucky
island
Monkeys?
boy?
Oh, Jesus Christ, not
Island
those boys.
boy.
I
Don't
hate
get
them.
me started, guys.
Shoot them in the face.
Oh yeah, I still have the island boy, one of my assignments.
Me too.
Jesus.
I literally changed my code just to insert island boy.
It came up in my algorithm the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, why? My TikTok
What?
algorithm.
Oh my God.
Dojo.
That was a really easy one. I can't believe that only 36% of people got that. That was really weird.
Don't tell me it's easy because I'm
Y'all are
still
just too big brain. There's a
sucking.
difference.
You-
Oh,
Maybe we can go through the actual codes so like everyone knows what's happening since
I
Nolan,
think-
you
Yeah,
said you don't
let's do
understand
that.
it.
yeah.
Well, now I mean, for some
Yes,
reason,
what
the
else wanna do?
decode
I
thing
gotta
just
sign
isn't
up
working.
this thing. I'm just-
I think Nolan just does the next one and talks us through it.
Well,
Yeah, but we
hold
should
on.
still talk him through this one too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
can you guys send
yeah,
the code
yeah.
to the Discord chat?
That's what I was gonna ask because I'm transferring it over to VS Code right now.
code. Send the code.
Yeah, do it like Nick and refuse.
Well, I will spam you with gifts.
Yeah, Nick was always like,
Yeah, he was always like, oh, you're just waiting for the gifts.
So wait.
Honey.
Sorry, I stepped away for a second. What did we change in there?
We didn't have string dot length minus 1 as our starting point. We had string dot length, which is like past the end of the array.
Yeah.
We're not starting at the right spot, basically.
So it was printing undefined at first, and that's why we were getting an incorrect answer.
Let me actually log into freaking lead codes. Do I have an
I see
account?
it.
I'll share my screen real quick.
I don't know what my password is. Oh, right.
So you said you had a right here.
Yes.
Put a space in your between your quotations.
Does
yeah,
that matter?
And we took away the count plus plus in
Yeah,
that
because
first one.
space is a character. An empty string would just be like false.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an empty character.
It would be
Okay, so
So that's correct now. It should work now.
So with this code, I'm just gonna bring in the console log examples.
oh,
Or no? How does this work?
Scroll down. What's your
Um,
example? Hello world.
Oh, the example has to be there.
Hold on one sec.
Hanging on.
Oh, no. It's not else start word.
oh, right
What?
here.
Yeah, I'll just give you a hint. I'll figure it out. Think through the logic.
Okay.
Specifically your if else logic.
Rather your syntax, like think about the way you wrote out the if else statement.
Oh, I guess I have two different ifs together. No.
You can have that.
Yeah,
You can, that's fine.
Okay. So if this well, I guess I'm saying right here is that if this exists,
Mhm.
or if
Mhm.
This
this
is true.
That's fine.
then
You don't have any syntax errors. It's the structure of the ifs. It's what you're actually telling it to do.
Yeah.
Is the problem, not the syntax.
You're kind of like saying if it's not equal to a space, set this to true, and then if it's true, make sure it's equal to a space.
No, but see, you're saying
You guys
if
lost
start-
me.
here,
oh,
if you're basically saying if start word and then else add count, but there's nothing that sets start word to false. So it's gonna equal start word is gonna equal true as soon as it finds a space, and you're never gonna hit that else statement.
Yeah, so you just have to move
Yeah,
your
that works.
else up.
oh, so you're saying just
Your
move
else
this?
should be your else statement for count plus plus. It should just the count plus plus below over here. This should just be starting here
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. See, you
because
see
you
how
never
that works?
reached it before. Like
Got
your
it.
else, your whole else statement has to
Oh,
start
the whole
there.
else. Got it.
Yeah, do you
I
see
see. I
how
see
that
what you mean
works?
now. My God.
Ah. Wait, which algo was this? Like the password.
Mhm.
I think the last word, yeah. Do you see how that works though? You see the difference?
Yeah, that makes okay. Yeah, I guess it does make sense now, just because it's like if it's this, then if it's
As long as start word is
as
true.
long as this is true, yeah, then it's
Mhm.
gonna. Otherwise, like if it doesn't run this one, it's gonna run this one versus having it outside of the loop. It's just
Yeah,
always
then it
gonna
would-
keep counting.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and once start word gets flipped on, it's the
Yeah. Interesting.
So Nolan, do you still need a walkthrough of the algo?
I'm
Tell us.
Tell us or forever hold your peace, Nolan.
Tell us
Yeah,
now.
man, like
it,
be
it
honest,
couldn't
like, real quick.
couldn't hurt because I mean
Yes.
I for sure I
Ah.
couldn't do this alone.
Same, maybe. Same, maybe. Same.
So
maybe.
okay, so I don't know, guys, but like I suggest we just like we explain like the thought logic to Nolan. So because like I don't know about you guys, but algorithm is basically based on how you think, right? And
I
Yeah.
can't.
I kind of like changed my mind on how to think of algorithm. I think the first day we did algo, and it kind of helped me. So Nolan, this is how I actually do algorithm, right? So if I see the problem, I actually try to like see how I can solve that like one piece by one piece. So for example, they say like last word, right? So the first thing that actually come in mind is how can I actually grab that last word, right?
Okay.
What I can actually write to get that last word. And in this case, your mind would automatically go to like a for loop that will start from the beginning to the end. But now you kind of click, instead of starting from the beginning to the end, which is going to be really complicated, you can start from the end to the beginning, which means that the first word that you can find there is going to be your last word, and you can play with that. So how
Oh, so
do
is
you-
that why there's like the negatives there? So like the length
Exactly.
-1 is the last
Exactly.
word.
Exactly.
Got it.
So now, how do you find that last word? How do you defer that last word from like all the other word? It's obviously going to be the space. So you write that for loop that start like from the end to like the beginning. And remember, the I index needs to be like in range. So you don't want the I to be the length of the string, but the length -1. And that's what we did there. And once you did that, your for loop is up and running, right? So now you got to find a way to find that last word. And the way to find that is the space. So you just incorporate it. So if s of I is equal to like, probably you'll start with something like if s of I is equal to like space, then you want to do something. But by doing that, basically you're going to have like you can try to do that, but it's going to be long also. So the way Ed actually did it was just like say not equal to empty string, because if it is not equal to space, that means we're still counting the letter of our last word because we haven't hit any space yet, right? You still follow me?
Can you explain that last part again?
Okay.
Because I was tracking with you and then I got lost. So there's
Okay.
a space, like the S of I is not equal to the space, but why is that? Why does that work?
Okay, so first of all, let's start with something really simple. Like,
Well,
can you get rid of
yeah. It's if you started out with a space, you don't want to end it right there. So basically, as soon as it's not a space, that means you're looking at a character. You're like inside of a word.
Mhm.
And that's when you know, okay, I need to start. That's when I know I'm in the word and I'm going to start moving. And as soon as I find a space, that means I reached the end of the word.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And that's sort of the mindset you have to get in is like, you know, just like Serge said, you go one piece at a time. It's like, you got to ask yourself, what does it mean when how do I detect when I'm not, when I'm at the end of a word? You know, it's like you figure out like what the thing I'm looking for to detect, and then you think of a code condition to check for.
Like if I asked you
write your if statement.
If I asked you if I asked you to look at that string and tell me what's the longest, how long is the last word, what would you do, right? You would immediately, like just intuitively, you would start at the end of it and you would scan back until you see a space and then count how many letters were before it, right? And it sounds like
Right.
dumb, like of course that's what you would do, but didn't, you know what I mean? It's like the exact same approach. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Sure. Okay. Yeah, this
that
makes sense.
Like,
now.
I mean, if I asked you that question, like in your brain, like what would you do? You would go to the end of the sentence, you know what I mean? And then count in from the end until you see like a space. And then that's like the length, or even just like, you know, you would look
Count
for
the
that
letters.
space and find
Yeah.
a way to indicate like, hey, this is the last word, and then keep track of how long it is. So it's like approaching it like that same way, really. You just gotta like translate it.
You guys want to do another one?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should let Nolan talk us through.
Yeah. Why don't you pick one, Nolan? Let's go.
Yeah.
That's the
So
hard
I
part,
mean,
is like the thought process.
so I was never comfortable enough to say it, but like I never fully understood and remembered how to use for loops when we went over them. So
Oh,
I
okay.
never could track with you guys, and I was always
Really?
part of algorithms and watching it and not understanding anything.
Are you still at that point where you're not following
Yes.
along that well?
Yep, still there. I'm still there from the second day onward. word.
Wow.
Nolan, I
okay.
think you mentioned that. I remember, I think in Java, I think we are doing some problem, and you actually did tell me that you don't understand how for loops work.
Yeah.
And I think some people try to explain, but if
It's
you still
tough,
didn't, if you
because-
still didn't understand, you can always feel free to ask again. Like don't think that we're not gonna like answer your questions or like we're gonna judge you, because trust me, none of us truly understand what a for loop is. So
Yeah.
You're
I
not
mean, I
alone.
totally agree. Like, I to this day don't understand the syntax of the word for. And
Yeah,
like,
like
it's really weird because like you don't use for anywhere else in code. It's like
Nope.
only used for this mysterious for loop. And like I just running off memory at this point. Just,
Yeah.
I remember how to write it and I remember where stuff goes. But if you
Yeah.
ask me to use for in any other context other than a for loop, I would be like clueless.
Yeah, so it's not about understanding what we're doing. It's just doing the same thing over and over that we know what's gonna happen. And we don't
Okay.
question why it's happening. It's just gonna happen. So we just keep writing it.
Well, that helps me out right there, because I'm thinking like, man, they really, something happens in their brains and they get something that I just don't get. And
Trust me,
No.
trust me, nothing
Question.
happened.
I don't
Like, we
understand that
we-
well either.
yeah, it's just practicing it over and over again and seeing
Repetition.
what works and then realizing, hey, this works. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Although-
honestly,
Yeah.
at the beginning, what I was doing is I just like memorized the syntax and I was just going with it. Like the
Yeah.
beginning,
Exactly.
I was speaking like a web font and stuff like that. But then I tried to like force myself to understand. But like I'd say like there is still no like really understand of like, for example, we have that for there and it's just used for a loop. So like nothing is just like really explaining what that is doing. So you're just going with the syntax, you know. All that you gotta understand is just like how to place a variable to a specific place to let that for loop do what you want to do. That's all.
And an important thing to remember about a for loop is your
Oh my
first
God.
condition is just going to be where your loop is starting. Your second one is going to be where your loop is ending. And your third one is going to be whether you're going forward in the loop or backwards in the loop, or maybe even +2 in the loop or +1, like
Yeah.
normal, or just things like that.
okay. So
Nolan, let's like, I feel like what we should do is think about it. Like, you know how to do these things. Like if I just asked you to do it in your head, like, you know what I mean? You know how to do it. So like we need to think of ways to like translate that thought process into like code, like do it pragmatically. So like just think it out loud, walk yourself through
Okay.
it like mentally, like how you would do it in your head. And then we need to start learning on how to translate that process into code. And then, you know what I mean? 'Cause that's
So-
really what we're doing is like, you know, approaching it from a, like, you know, we have that toolkit of ifs and fors and thens and all this shit. And we approach the problems with that toolkit is like what we kind of got to learn how to do.
all right. So for this one, there's 2 strings. Those are just variables, S and T. And T is generated by random shuffling string. It's generated by randomly shuffling string S and adding another letter at a random position. So it's just random stuff, like
Mhm.
whatever the letters are. So it's just adding to the end of S. So return the letter that was added to. I meant S. I meant T. Return the letter was added to T. So example 1. So these examples right here, is this what I'm supposed to like be bringing over to this to have it communicate with this, or how do I give this the strings that they're talking about?
So those strings right now are just parameters, and the way you would call it is underneath the function after the semicolon. Yeah. You would say console.log, and then in parentheses have the name of the function, which is find the difference without quotes.
Just
Oh,
like on line 22, we're console logging the result of the
Yeah.
execution, length of last word when you pass in the string.
And then in
hello world.
parentheses, you would have your first argument, a comma, and your second argument, which in their first example, they did ABCD, and the second one was ABCDE. And you can put those in quotes since that's how they have it, because you're passing in a string.
that's right. Strings, quotes. So this is going to be parentheses, and I'm doing another parentheses.
No, you could keep it inside of the parentheses.
but just
That's it. That's the
Just a
whole thing.
comma to
a
separate.
comma.
Same way as this is written, you're gonna want to write your calling the same way,
Oh,
same syntax.
okay. Oh, no wonder. I was like, why did my comma go? A, B, C, D. Okay, and that's in quotes, no one.
Yes, sir.
As somebody chokes. Okay,
Same.
okay.
What? Doesn't even make sense though, because they don't even follow their own rules. They said
No
the string
question.
T is generated by shuffling the first string and then adding a letter, but it's the same as the first string with a letter added.
I guess so. It's not shuffled.
Yeah. That is a strange
Yeah.
example.
You're a strange example.
Got him.
Matt is not here, okay? I had to.
Well, this one, the example two is there's an empty string for S, and then a random letter was returned to the T.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Which one are you doing right now?
This one,
It's
389.
called find the difference.
389. I was trying to find like the number.
So how do you track like what which stuff you have done here? So like
It shows
Um,
you when you have an account, there will be a little check mark next to one that you've submitted.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got like data when I finished the last one and threw it in there,
Yeah.
like of how
Woo!
many people have done it and stuff. So
Yeah.
weird.
How fast it runs.
Yeah, how fast it went,
Right.
all that jazz. I wish, see, Macs are annoying to me because Windows, you can split screen and it will automatically split it. And this one, you have to like,
Really?
drag it to make it look pretty. Yeah, if you have a Windows computer, you can take your this right here and pull it over like this,
Yeah,
and it
just snap
will
it.
snap into the half of your
Really?
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take this, go like this all the way over, and it'll go bop.
Like throw it at the side of your
My-
window, and it'll like just snap to half of the window exactly.
Mine does not do that.
You're a liar.
You got Windows 10.
You got
I'm
one
trying.
She's
issue.
working with Windows 98.
Or you can
I'm
click at the
trying.
bottom.
I'm throwing my windows all over my screen and it doesn't work.
Well, don't throw it. So take this, hold it
You
like
gotta
this,
like
and
hold
then
it
touch
against the
it
side.
against the all the way
Okay.
on the side, and then it'll give you like a little window.
Nope.
That's you are a
Nope.
liar.
My
Bootstrap Bill.
my window just disappears into the abyss.
Oh,
you
you have
like-
multiple screens?
Yeah, you're
No,
using
I
two
just have one.
monitors.
I have one
Is that
screen.
dumb?
You mean it like slides off the edge of the screen?
Yeah, it like disappears. It just goes away.
What windows
It
do you
shouldn't.
have?
But you probably you
10.
might have it set up for multiple screens, but you're not running another screen. You might actually have some shit like fucked up if that's actually.
That's one, or you can grab the window and then go to the corner. So like the top corner.
That's what I did. And it just goes into the corner and just stays there.
So top corner and you get to go down a little bit. But make sure you're staying inside the computer screen monitor.
Nope.
Hi, George.
Saw,
Nope.
dude.
Nope.
Saw, dude.
Nope.
You got to go all the way to your mouse position.
Yeah, where your mouse is, like where
Nope.
my mouse.
When you're
Damn.
dragging, eventually it'll
Alright.
hit where the mouse is and you can't drag anymore, and then it'll like
Share your screen. Let us see.
show
the
us.
banana.
You're driving
Okay,
me crazy.
I swear I'm not kidding. Like I have this window, right?
Okay.
Y'all tell me to go to the right, right?
Sure.
Where?
And then I click go, right?
Just drag it over.
No, you have to
Just
hold on to it.
Hold- you
and
gotta hold
top
it
right.
against the
holding.
side.
don't unclick.
I'm
Hold on.
holding it, and
gonna
what?
take
Nothing
control.
happened.
No, it's too late now. Well,
It's too
Start
late.
again.
No, no,
Wait,
grab
Start
it-
again and
Don't
don't
give
let
me it.
go.
Give me it.
Grab it
Give
on
me-
the
let me-
right side.
All right. I'm
towards,
touching it. I
He's
got it
touching
right
my
here.
windows, guys.
It's not giving me
Okay.
it, guys.
See?
Hold on.
I'm
Hold
not.
on.
I'm not crazy.
Let
See?
me try something else. Look, it's usually so if you go to the top. All right, wait a second. Does yours have the double click function then? So if I go like this, does it go big? Okay, at least it does that.
I
So
mean,
double clicking,
I would hope so.
but it's supposed to expand top.
See,
It's
I'm
not
not
doing it.
crazy.
Okay, what about this side? Damn.
You gotta go get a refund.
Girl, it's been like
Check your settings or something. You
Wait,
probably have it
no.
turned off.
Right click on your desktop and go to display settings.
All right, it's all
Okay,
you now,
Nolan.
Deanna.
I was gonna say I'm taking back control of this.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
right click.
Turn on, make
Oh,
sure your
Ito,
snap window
my
settings
king.
are turned on.
It is that you don't have.
It's a setting in Windows 10 called Snap Window. Make sure it's turned on.
And go to display.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Oh, okay, you don't have multiple displays. It's not one.
I don't
Snap
have multiple
window.
displays.
Okay, so never mind. That should have
Advanced
been a
display
thing.
settings.
Type in Snap in your search bar.
No, you're fine.
in your
You're fine.
Windows bar.
I was just checking if you had it at some point had multiple monitors and it was still like thinking you had multiple monitors, you could like drag it into a monitor area that doesn't exist.
Multitask
Ooh.
settings.
I've had
Oh.
Windows.
Ah.
Ah.
Now it shall work.
Yes, Poppy. Boom.
There you go.
Oh my god. What is
And
happening?
then click another
What
window.
just-
Now click whatever you want to be
Boom.
done.
There you go.
We just saved you some
Yes,
time,
Deanna.
motherfucker.
Oh, I just broke it.
that'll still work though. So
Oh
check this
my
out.
god.
Make it smaller. Make the left one smaller.
The left one smaller.
Like
Oh, no,
like you can like bring this here. I'll
that's right.
No. Let me show you. Let me show you.
I
I'm
know
gonna
I
take
didn't
control
want to
again.
grab VS Code.
Give me your mouse. Give me your mouse. All right.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Oh
We're
my
gonna
god, you
do.
took my mouse.
We're doing that, and then if I
Okay.
go here and I make this smaller, right? Then I can
Uh-huh.
go to this guy. Oops.
Just
It's hard to grab the top of it, and it'll snap to that size. So then you can take both of them. You should be able to grab this and like move them both at the same time as well, but I probably can't because of the functionality. But yeah, that's smaller now, and it'll snap to that size. It's sick.
Look at that.
I
Look at it.
so you're telling me my entire life I've literally
Yes.
just been doing like this, like manually resizing like over here, and then I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna like have you over here.
Yes, that is
Yep.
exactly what we're
My
saying.
entire life.
Yeah.
Wow. All because
Uh,
everything was turned off.
Mac user don't suffer too much for stuff like that. Just want to put it there.
Hey, I guess you do. Mine doesn't snap. Does yours snap?
No.
Yes, I suffer. I have to like size everything.
Surge means you guys don't have to suffer with the bonus features.
Bonus features.
Ew.
Yeah.
We don't have to suffer how to use all the additional features.
Yeah, you just click like there's like a pen tab bar there, and then you just select like your window, you move stuff whatever you want. It's simple.
I wish I had the
What?
Snap Daddies.
Did you see the Snap Daddies?
Yeah.
All right, back to the code,
people.
people.
Yes, I
Yeah,
was gonna say
back
I
to the code.
digress. I digress.
Everybody,
Nice.
everybody just
I realized an
yeah.
issue. Your second string that you're passing in should just be a single letter that you want to pass in.
So should I just do like an empty space because it's gonna fill it?
No, like you choose what letter you want to pass into once
You know
we
what?
scramble it.
There you go. For you.
Wow, that's me.
Wow. That's you.
That's-
Okay.
Wait, so
I don't think that's
So return the letter that was added to
where's the
T.
difference. So you need like, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to get a string and then a string that has all the same shit scrambled around plus one additional letter, and we're
So
supposed to
is both of the outputs just supposed to be the exact same string?
it's supposed to be the same
It's just
exact
supposed to
string, but the
return the letter
second one,
that's different.
Yeah, no, I mean
The
in the arguments, what do we put in? The
yes.
same strings, right?
So you put
Yeah.
the same strings, but
Okay.
the second one has one additional letter. That's different.
But we don't add that manually, do we?
Yeah. Because
You add-
they don't want you to have to go through the trouble of figuring out a way to randomize your string and then add a random letter. So they're just telling you to physically randomize your string and add a random letter. So you don't have to like write code that does it, because it's like an easy algorithm that would be difficult. So they're just saying like, give it two strings, one that's, that are identical plus one extra letter. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think we're
I
just
don't
hosting-
know, like reading it doesn't sound like that to me.
Well, where are those supposed to come from? Like if you're on an
I
email,
don't know.
Nolan.
where does the,
Like you could create a dictionary of the alphabet, I guess, and then randomize what letter gets added, but it just says add one more letter at a random position after
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
String
sure you're
T
supposed
is
to say-
generated by random shuffling string S, and then add one more letter at a random position. Return the letter that was added to T. So our output is gonna be whatever letter was added.
Yes.
So
like,
if
I
we
think
add
there's
it
stuff
manually, why would we even need to return? Like,
Because it's an easy algorithm and adding.
You're an easy
creating a-
algorithm.
Creating a function that would make a random string and then add a letter and randomize it and all this shit's kind of difficult. So they're just saying like, do it yourself, but then make a thing that can return the difference. Like, it's not about knowing the difference, it's about knowing how to find the difference. So like, you just put in the strings like we would in class. He would just give us examples and we would just put them in, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because that would be hard to make a thing. I mean, like, not hard, but hard for an easy algorithm to like make a thing that, and then like we would have to tell it how long for the word to be. We would have to like generate a random length or something. Then like, I
Yeah,
don't know, I'm just pretty sure we're just supposed to put in the letters, and then it shows
Yeah.
us that Y and empty string just to show us how to handle an empty string.
What are
to be-
these constraints at the bottom mean?
honestly, I never know. I think it's
Okay.
just like stuff you don't
Your-
want to use in your algo.
Your string will never be longer than 1,000 letters long. It'll
This
never.
is
It'll always, okay, so string 1 will never be longer than 1,000 letters. String 1 will always be 1 letter shorter than string 2, and string 1 and string 2 consist of nothing but lowercase letters. That's what that's saying.
It's just-
Okay.
that way you don't have to look for like
Yeah, it's like telling you the edge case is pretty much like the.
or something.
Oh, bye, Diana. Why do you gotta go?
Oh, she's gotta go take sister to school.
Oh, okay.
GG. Easy. Okay. So, what?
She said, never mind.
Oh, never mind. Hi again. Welcome.
Everyone got the certificate, yeah?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Got it
Well, are you
today.
guys going to
finally.
make that LinkedIn post? I currently graduate from Coding Dojo, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I did.
was
It's
gonna,
blowing
but-
up right now.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a script or something like that because I feel like I need to grow my LinkedIn because like I'm not really like huge fan of social media, but this year I want to really like force myself to do it. Oh, look at Nolan.
Yeah.
Nolan's a
The
handsome
picture.
Such a handsome boy.
Let's
Uh,
see. Look at
I
that.
saw that.
That's what I
Yo,
posted.
what really got me is that I don't.
Are we friends on
scroll-
LinkedIn?
Huh?
No.
What'd you
Nolan?
say, Deanna?
Like, are we friends on LinkedIn?
Oh, add me if you're not.
Let me just double check real quick.
I did the
I was-
Gandalf quote.
I was gonna say
Hmm.
that I don't usually go through LinkedIn, like I never check it, and then I was scrolling through like yesterday or 2 days ago. And then I freaking saw like all the posts from our cohort. Every single person that posted about graduating was like mentioning the cohort and like how much they love the cohort and like how much we all help each other. And I was like, guys, stop having my emotions.
Stop, make me cry. Don't.
Yeah, like Winter posted her I love my cohort's background she used to use on Zoom.
Oh.
Mhm.
And I'm just like,
Yes.
Winter. I need to post, but I don't know how to word it. So I'm gonna hold off on that.
How do I word this? Am I just gonna go into a for loop here?
Hold
Because I
on,
don't know
hold
what I'm
on,
doing.
Hold on, let's just think about it for a second, because this is really fucking weird, dude. If I asked you, think about what's going on. It says a string is listen, a string is generated and then it's shuffled. And then after it's shuffled, a random letter is added to the end of it, right? Or is it at a random position? Okay, never mind. I was gonna say like that's so fucking weird if it just adds it at the end every time. That's really easy to find it. But like, okay.
Random position.
So yeah, we need to, yeah, like how.
Add one more random letter, random position. This is so weird. Like,
I
why would you
know.
just add a letter and then shuffle it if you wanted to be at a random position?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
I bet it
Their
could accept
example
that.
doesn't help.
Yeah, this is
no,
doo-doo.
not at all.
Do you want me to
Right.
do a different one?
Just no, dude, it's cool.
No,
Just
No,
find that
I
E.
want to figure it out.
Find that E. How would you find the E? Like what,
Cycle
you know,
through it, and if it's equal to E, then we print E, right?
yeah, but how do you know that the E is what's different?
Because we've literally manually put it in. Like, that's why I'm
Okay, pretend you
confused.
didn't. Pretend they just gave you that. Like they don't want you to.
I
They
know.
should have just gave you
I
example
understand.
problems is what the problem is. You know what I mean? But like, imagine you just
So,
didn't know that you put the E.
basically, if it's not equal to one of the characters in the first argument, then the new character would print. If one of the characters in the second one are not equal to one of the characters in the first one. So we
Yeah.
could have like a for loop going through, we could have a nested for loop, if you think about it.
Mhm.
The first one would be going through the first character string. And the second one would be going through the second.
And we could also maybe look into things like, because we have things like contains or index
Yeah,
of.
yeah. Just to
So,
do it a
like,
little easier. Yeah,
Yeah, like we
that
could
actually would be great. Yeah.
check and see if it's in it at all. So like we could say like, you know, string one dot contains whatever I of our loop, you know, like so we loop through. Yeah, we loop through the second string, right? And check if each letter is contained in the first string. And if it's not, then we know that's the letter that was
Does
added to it.
contains loop through it manually, or do we still need to make a for loop and then say dot contains inside of it? I don't remember.
It'll loop through whatever you put into it. So you would have to do a dot contains on every letter of the second string, but when you do dot contains, it would check every letter of the first string, if that makes sense. You could do it with one. You wouldn't need like the nested loop because the contains would kind of handle that second loop, if that makes
What
sense.
happened to letting Nolan
Um,
solve the algo, Joe?
Yeah.
What is happening right now? Like, why
I'm
are you
still not doing
explaining
it.
Well, it's
stuff?
because it's hard, and it was just
Okay,
like,
guys,
yeah.
I have a thought process, so I don't know if you guys are done for it. So what I was thinking of doing is basically like going through like the first string that we have a for loop going through that. And we will just like put every single letter into like an array or something like that. And once we were done with that, we would just like go through the second one and check if every single one of those letters are inside the array. If they are not, then we want to have that return as our letter. Now we need to take care of like how to generate the T and have like the whole shuffle. So we can actually take care of like find the letter first by hard coding like an example in there, and then we can later on take care of like the shuffling. What do you guys think?
kinda like what B
okay,
was
so I think we're getting confused here. I think I'm finally understanding why they wrote things the way they did. So the reason why T isn't a single character is a very specific reason. They want you to go through T character by character and figure out what the difference is. That's why T is like a full string. So it would just be like, yeah, it'd be a for loop through the T string. And you know, you gotta find the character that isn't in string S. So one way you could do it is every time you find a character that's in string S, you take that character out of string S. And once string S is empty, you know you've found all the characters. Anything that's left in T would be the difference.
Yeah.
So I guess you'd have to take them out of both S and T.
Oh, I see. Empty them until there's one left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now you just got to think about how we would go about actually writing that out. Obviously, we would want to go through each letter in the string. So
Well, wouldn't it be, it would still be like the basic. So this is where I get kind of hung up, I guess. In the beginning, is it always going to be like a for I equals 0 thing?
so
Or
it's, you have to define like a variable. I is a variable. So you'd have like a let or const or a,
like this up here
no, inside of the loop.
inside of it?
It's not just for I equals 0, it's for let I equals 0.
Yeah, that's what makes for loops special or weird, I guess, is that, yeah, you define a variable in the first like.
Yeah.
No, is that 0 or O?
It's an O.
My bad, dude.
Sorry. I tend to do that a lot too. That's why I saw it real quick.
Yeah, I'm kind of in autopilot right now.
So yeah, this next one would be your basically every time this loop runs, it's gonna check the next one, this one that you're writing, and see if it's true still. Once this thing you're writing is false, it's gonna exit the for loop. Keep that in
So
mind.
you'd want like a greater than or equal or less than thing. So like if I is less than the string length, we want to keep
Oh.
going.
Or equals. It depends on the situation, but right now you're writing s.length equals something, and s.length is always going to be.
That's the number. So it's not like iterating through like each.
Right. We still need a condition first.
Oh, I can see how this could get complicated. We'll get there. But yeah, in the third condition, you're going to be, making I go up or down. Like in this part, I is going up. So eventually I is going to like go beyond the length of the string. That's what you're checking for. You're going to check I basically every loop.
Yeah, I have no idea what to write.
Well,
Just to make sure, guys.
I don't know if anybody else does.
Is T
Oh
actually
my
going?
god.
Oh, sorry. So like, is T actually generate for us, or like we have to generate it ourselves?
We write it in.
Oh, okay. So we just like we can pick whatever we want. So like we can
Yeah,
write.
Nolan wrote
the-
it already. If you see right here.
Oh, okay. So I thought we were supposed to generate that A, B, C, D based on S also inside our code. So that's what I was confused.
So, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
we wouldn't do it inside because it's an argument. We're already giving it something. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to generate it, you'd have to write another function that.
So basically, we
ran
just have to
the string.
work with two nested for loop, right? Kind of, because like what Ed say, like we just have to like whenever we find something from S and T, we just have to like take that thing away from like T, and just we have like our last letter at the end. So we probably use some stuff like splice.
Yeah. But
Alright.
let's focus on. So, I want to let's hope no one get this for loop down. You really need to understand for loop.
Yeah, for sure.
So Nolan, do you know what the next part is supposed to do?
I did at one point. But I
So-
right now I have no idea what comes next.
Okay, so
I
to
feel you,
review,
Nolan.
there's three parts of a for loop, and they're separated by the semicolon. So the first part, you're going to define what's called an iterator. Basically, this variable is going to add or subtract every loop. It's going to go up or down.
Okay.
So here you're just making I starting at 0. Okay, that's good. Semicolon. Second part is what is the condition that you write a condition like if this thing equals true or rather as long as this thing equals true, I keep looping. As soon as it's not true, I stop looping. So if you were to write like I is greater than 30, as soon as I is like 31, it's going to stop looping.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
like in this case, we want it to stop looping once I is greater than the length of the string. So
So once I is greater than and we're dealing with S first.
well, I mean, that's another question. I guess it would make sense to go with T because T is the one we want to look at to see if it's to see what the difference is between T and S. And
Okay.
right, the T is the one we're inspecting, and we're gonna find the difference between T and S. So we want to loop through all the stuff in T. So yeah. And then you do semicolon, and then in this part we're gonna do like I++, and that's basically plus is shorthand for I equals I plus 1.
I plus 1. Okay.
Yeah, and you can actually write that in this part of the code, and it will work exactly the same.
Okay.
It's
I
just
think
like
that bit I remember.
yeah,
Plus
okay.
plus like adds 1, and then minus minus does the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just go in the opposite. Okay.
Yeah, so then you do your curly braces just to tell it, okay, while we're in the for loop, basically do everything inside these curly braces. And once
Okay.
you're done, it'll jump out of these curly braces and keep going.
So I need to, because we put T in there, so the length of T. So I need to identify when there's a character and when there's a space at the end, because then it means it's done.
No, think about, you already have your for loop set up, so it already has an end condition. You already gave it, so this will stop looping once I is greater than T dot length.
Oh, okay.
So your string could have a bunch of spaces in it, it really doesn't matter. Because I is never going to go beyond the length of the string. And you can look in the characters in I by doing string square brackets I, and that'll give you like the position in the string. Because the position is always changing every loop, that allows you to look at every position.
Just like an empty bracket. So if I did string that, I guess
Well,
I'm not
no.
tracking with you then.
No, it wouldn't be empty. So you put I in there. I is the position.
Did we just lose Nolan?
Yes.
No.
Nolan, come back. There he is.
That was
No,
What
good.
happened there?
What happened, Nolan?
Hold on. Now I can't hear anybody.
Oh, Nolan, come
No.
back.
Yeah.
Nolan. Nolan. Kiwi, scream. Scream so he can hear you. Yukaka. No? No, look at me like that.
Okay, I'm back.
Nolan.
Dude, that was
Can
crazy.
you hear us?
I went to hit backspace and my power button is right above that. And I hit power, and then next thing you know, it all was gone.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so sorry. I was at string and then the empty bracket, and I didn't know. I guess I'm not understanding.
So you know how strings work the same as arrays in the fact that you can go to a position in a string the same way you go to a position in an array.
Oh yeah, so like you can do like T of, or whatever your array is, like the array of 1 and the position in there will go to like the second position there.
Yeah,
Got it.
And so like, to give a simple example, if we just want to check like for the letter A in a string, and use a for loop, we would just do like if string of I equals A, do this thing.
String of I equals a string
And
of.
to give an example, but I mean, you're not gonna literally like write string, because you're gonna give it the name of the thing that is a string, right? And then you can give it the position, which would be the square brackets, and that's just like the syntax for getting a position in an array, which strings act like arrays in JavaScript.
Okay.
So it would be like S square brackets, and then you can give it a position.
Oh, so that's how you call it. And then of S. But I want to know the difference between S and T. So
See,
how,
we're only in a very small part of the problem. So this is just, we just want to go to each position and look at it. We're just in that small subsection of the problem. The bigger picture is, okay, given this tool set, like how do we like actually come to our solution? But right now, yeah, this is just like, okay, we want to look at each position, and that's what our for loop's for. So
okay. I still don't know like what to write next or how to think of what comes next.
I notice you have it set for if I is greater than t dot length, but it should be if I is less than t dot length.
yeah, true.
So what that's saying is as long as I is less than the length of the string, we're going to keep going.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense because it's not like there's a stop in that because I had it backwards. Okay.
And when you're going through a for loop, the way that it goes is always this first, this second, then whatever's inside the for loop, and then it increments.
And then oh my God, I remember that from like day 2.
Yeah, it was confusing at first.
Yeah. Man, that algorithm.
But that's important to remember that the structure is that way.
Yeah, the last part happens last.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty weird. It's like, why I don't understand like for syntax. It's like, I know you could probably use this for something else other than like, a loop, but
maybe.
Probably.
I just don't, how do you get, or how does the 0 play into like the I equals 0? Is that like the index of, like, should I be looking at that as like
That's
0
just-
equals?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could name it whatever you want to, but usually it's just I for index. Because that's what it typically is iterating through is the
That
index number.
Makes sense. Okay, got it.
So it's like
you could
your
really call it
starting
the
location.
thing if you wanted to. But to keep in mind, it's just like how the last part only happens in the loop. The first part only happens once at the beginning of the loop. Like you got to also remember that rule. So it's going to define I one time. And then the other 2 parts are going to run every time.
Which is going to
like
change the
it's
next
like
part.
where you start, where you end, and how quickly you count.
Technically, the first one runs again, but it's just the increment.
It's only
incrementing.
incrementing by 1.
So it's not really.
What's only
running again, it's
declared
just
one
But
time.
changing.
no, technically first part doesn't run again because if it did,
Yeah.
it would never go past 0.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Because then as soon as
You
this is 1,
declare a variable at the position that you want to start at, and then you tell it when to stop and then how fast to count.
this will always stay the same. So when I'm going through after the if, I'm taking this and I'm making, this is now 1, but it's over here. And I'm doing this part
Yeah,
and then going back down to the if statement.
yeah.
Okay. So how the hell
Like
do
if I
write
said
this
to you,
down?
count through every other letter in a string. You know what I mean? It's like the exact same thing, but instead of saying I plus plus, you would say, you know, I
I
plus
plus
2.
2.
Because then it's counting through every,
Every
it's like
other.
every other. So it's really just like you
That makes
declare
sense.
what the variable is that will keep track of your index and where it starts, when it should stop doing the loop, and how fast it increments through the array or the string. Those are just your three
Got it.
your three conditions for the loop in that order every time.
Cool. Okay.
Like if you wanted to start like halfway through the loop, you could say var of I equals string2 dot length divided by 2. And then it would just start, you know, at the middle of the array or the middle of the string every time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a way of, that's where you
Shit.
tell it, like, this is where I want it to start looking. This is where I want it to end looking. And this is how, like, if I do every one, every other one, every third one, whatever you want to do, you know what I mean? Or if you wanted to move backwards through it, that's where you just, that last argument is like how to increment through the thing you're looking at. I don't know if that helps any, but.
Tell the movie.
So are we all stuck, or is it just waiting for me to do something here? 'Cause I don't know.
For you.
I'm kind of working.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do next.
I'm at the part where I have to like take away the string and I'm using splice, and that shit is just giving me some weird error. Like splice is not a function.
So now you got a for loop that's going through and it's looking at every letter in one string. But what does it do to it, right? It's just, so far you're just literally just looping through it. We're not like actually doing anything with it. So now we need to like on each stop of this loop, compare this letter to some other set of letters, right?
Joe, just so you
Oh.
know, the example that you showed me actually isn't accepted on LeetCode.
Why? Because it includes.
No, it's because there's an example where the input is A and then the second one is AA. And because they're the same letter, you know, that throws it off. Because there's a situation where you can add a letter that's new, but it's still the same as the old ones. Like it's still one of the old ones. So dot includes wouldn't work in that scenario.
Right. That's why.
So we should think about that too as we're writing it. That there is a possibility that the letter you're going to be adding could be the same as one of the letters you already have.
I'm just trying to think how you get around that without making like a whole index and everything. It's got to be an easy way
So
to do
you
it.
could just get around that by saying something like, if there's two of the same letter, then the other one is a new one, or something like that.
What if that's still not true? What if there's already
Well,
two A's and
not
you added a
exactly
third
like
one?
that, but something like that. Because there's a possibility too that you could have like two A's and
Mhm.
then we're adding another A. Then
Mhm.
that would also run into that problem, but we could do something of that.
We would
This, like,
almost have to like do a count of each letter in
yeah.
the string and then a count of each letter in the second string and look at which one's different.
Mhm.
Because I'm like sitting here thinking, because like as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, but then like, how fuck are we gonna
Right.
like?
Gets more complicated than we thought.
That's how it always goes. Every time we did one of these on
know.
break, we would like, oh, okay, that's easy, and we would like turn it in, and then it'd be like,
Literally.
actually, fuck you, because what about this random edge
Shit.
case?
Yeah.
Always a catch.
See you later, Chad.
All right, see, I'll be back in a bit.
Bye, Chad.
I missed you already. Oh my god, kiwi, gross. Kiwi, do you know how to solve this? Tell us the secret. Secret.
Wait, isn't there a built-in function to remove like a character from a string? Because I know there is for an array, but like,
I think there's
Oh yeah,
like
does splice not work on a string?
yeah, it's not working.
It does. Oh, it does.
Yeah. Thought it was slice, or was it splice? I always get this
Oh,
confused.
it's yeah. They have like a different one depending on what
So you use slice also?
it is. I didn't.
I'm using slice. It's not working either, which is weird.
There's
It's- It's giving me something like
what's Google say? So Google says you can use the replace function and basically replace a character with just an empty
yeah,
string.
that's what Griplet told me too. But like, I don't want to replace a character. Like, I want to delete the character. Like, I want to remove it.
Well, if you replace it with an empty string, then that's kind of the same thing. It's delete.
But the length is still going to be like there, which is
No, if it's empty, then the length will be shorter.
oh okay. Let me
Yeah, an empty string
Yeah.
is not same as a space.
Yeah,
Space
got
is a character.
okay. Mm. Even when I'm using replaces, it's not working. Like, is my code wrong or something like that?
Oh, I don't. Place is weird. Oh, it's not. It's replace doesn't use a position. You have to use a regular expression. It's probably not what we're looking for. Character added.
Did any one of you have found the answer yet?
No, I
I
got
got one
distracted.
that uses includes, but it breaks it if there's two letters. I think I just need to set it so like,
Well, you need to get rid of it once you find it, or else you'll just find it again.
Weird thing that's happening right now.
well, I did it just like if it does not include it. So it was working, but then if like the first string is A and the second string is AA, then it breaks it because it does include it in the original string, even though. So I just need to like. I feel like there's like a really easy way to still use this solution and just change one whole thing. I just can't think of it.
Maybe.
Oh, there's the splice function. Okay. I think somebody already said that. I just didn't register.
Yeah, the replace is not working on a string, which is weird.
Oh, don't use replace. Replace wants you to give it a regex. So it's not a position. You give it a regular expression like find certain match, and then you can replace the parts that match. We actually used string replace during deployment, if you remember, to edit the file to get rid of to change the local hosts 8,000 to something else.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And use the
Honestly, I
regular-
wasn't really like paying attention to those, but I remember the syntax.
I
And
mean, after I went through it with Matt like a bajillion times, like I definitely remember it now. So
you know, the fun part here is that I have a string, and whenever I use splice, it says like this is not a function.
yeah, because it's supposed to be an array function, not a string function.
Yeah, try using split.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, split. Has anyone used slice? Gotten slice
Yeah,
to
I
work?
use slice is not doing anything either.
Um,
Hold on, what does split do?
start number and end number. So I guess it'll.
All worked for arrays. Oh wait,
Oh,
hold on.
maybe I just need I. Just slice it I. It's like-
Yeah, we can use split here because we're not splitting based on anything. Because this is
Oh.
a string, right? So I had another idea, but that would be really dumb to do that like that. So just like put all those number back inside an array and just like I don't know, do everything that we did already. So like once we're done, we just have to console log the only thing that is inside the array, which technically will work, but that's really dumb, like literally.
Bro.
Just to make sure everyone is going with the logic of like, hey, if you find like the same letter in both parts, we just want to remove the letter from like the T, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe we have to add something else along with that.
Because like we can use the built-in function. So like since the built-in function does not really apply to the string here, I was just thinking that my whole mind is just going, hey, put all those things inside an array and just use the array to like get rid of like get around like the problem. But the thing here
Okay.
is like, what if we have like a long string, like I mean a really long one?
Yeah.
So you're like a burn space by putting all those single character into like a an
Array.
array, and
Yeah.
that's ridiculous,
So keep in mind you are changing the length when you remove something. So if you're iterating through it,
Mhm.
if you remove one, you actually have to back up.
You gotta say I minus minus after you remove one to move your
Oh,
iterator
yeah.
back one.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
actually find
And you literally just, as soon as you said that, it clicked, and I put that in my program, and now it works.
Really?
Yeah, here, I'll post it. I just forgot that it would move I backwards. I kept getting an extra letter all weird in the middle of it. I couldn't figure out why, but I forgot it moved I backwards. So I just moved I back one after I moved I back one, and it fixed it.
Somehow made an infinite loop. I just realized I'm like, why is that?
Wow.
And then like fan kicked on. I'm like, okay, it's doing something.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like starting to get hot.
Your computer's like, what the fuck?
Oh, come on, it's like 10 in the morning.
That's why I don't do while loops.
Yeah.
Well,
Here,
full for loop.
post
I don't know what the
the
fuck happened.
thing.
Where'd you post the code?
Oh shit, I was in a job.
Job
hunt. I thought I was gonna fucking same thing we ran, the voice. to
Really?
chat.
Yeah, yell at him, Kiwi.
But wait, Joe, you are missing a main point.
What's
If you
that?
read the instructions say that you'll be given a what does it say? String T is generated by random shuffling string, and then you add one more letter at a random position. Does your code,
Shuffle the string at all.
does it account for unshuffled, like unsorted strings
Yeah,
or
it
not?
doesn't matter. It just, it goes through and removes. If it finds the letter in the, if it goes through the second
Whoa.
string, and if it finds the letter in the first string, it removes it from the second string, and it keeps doing that until it's done. And the only thing that's left in the second string is stuff that wasn't contained in the first string. So the order has nothing to do with it.
What the frick is string 2? Oh, that's our.
And then it should handle duplicate letters now too, because if there was, A, it will just take away the first A, and then the second A, it won't find an A, so it'll just return A.
Oh, why does it not like it?
I think. I don't fucking know.
Let me,
I still haven't gone to bed yet. I stayed up all night playing 7 days with Matt.
Hey,
and
really?
then-
Holy crap.
Yeah, and then I worked
Damn.
with Kenny all morning long. We fucking made it so we can log in with Google onto his website. Like if you go to his website, underneath the login button, there's a sign in with Google button, and you click it, and it actually uses Google's API and accesses it and signs in with their credentials and sends his website a no auth authentication and all kinds of shit. It's fucking sweet.
Kiwi, you're disgusting.
So
Stop it.
Joe, you ran your code and it worked?
It does work, but I just gave it one case. I was just convinced that it was going to work, couldn't figure out why it wouldn't. And then when Ed said that about the I and I added it and it worked, I just became convinced that was the right answer. But
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
not really
the
bad.
code that you put when I run it, it prints out A, B, C, D.
when I run it, it prints out E. You have
The
string 2 on line 7. You have return string 2 on line 7.
Joe, did you try adding more than one different letter?
Yeah, if you add a bunch of letters that aren't in the first string, it just returns everything that's not in the first string. So it pretty much just removes the first string from the second string. It's like more or less.
Oh,
like-
I see. You changed it. It's not if it's not anymore. It's if
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
yeah, you gotta get rid of that explanation.
Okay.
point.
Okay.
And then you changed your slice, right? Like the slice is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what the slice is doing is it's removing one thing at the index of I. It's slicing everything before the index of I, and then slicing everything after the index of I and concatenating them back together into a single string and just resetting string 2 to that.
Did you post that, Joe? Posted that?
Yeah, he posted it in job
yeah.
hunting.
Why
Yeah, I
does
thought it was.
not
I'm
work?
tired. Like, I'm so tired, like for real.
It literally doesn't work for some letters for some reason.
I don't understand what you mean.
Oh, I was doing slice wrong. For some reason I kept getting in an infinite loop with apparently with slice. You can, I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah, it's still the wrong answer.
Wait,
What
for
is it
real?
Yeah,
saying? It's wrong
Joe.
now? I don't have the leak code thing open. What is saying it's wrong now?
It just says the same thing. The AA output is nothing expected
That's not
A.
true. Put A in the first string and AA in the second string and hit enter. And
I
it
did.
returns one A.
Let me just put in yours and maybe I'm missing something in mine.
Or wait, hold on. No, it's not working. I changed something. Hold on.
Oh, you
No.
posted the includes.
follow me.
I think he kept the includes.
Yeah.
He didn't keep the includes.
See, wait, hold on. Okay, no, I'm doing it backwards. I need to remove it from both strings. That's all I need to do. So then after I reset string 2, I also need to reset string 1 to not contain the A. And then it'll just work then at that point. Because
Kiwi.
I don't know.
Like-
Why are you slicing it? Why are you slicing string 2 and then adding string 2 to
I'm
slice
slicing,
1?
I'm setting string 2 to everything before I and everything after I concatenated back together. If that makes sense. Like, because I'm just trying to get rid of I out of the string. So like I slice everything off the front of it before the I, and then everything off of the back of it after the I, and then put them back together. And because like
Oh, can you
No,
guys,
that's not how slice works.
can I show you guys something real quick?
Slice returns the
yeah, I'm just
string,
gonna post
the start and end, like the spread between start and end, that's what gets returned by a slice.
yeah, this is-
Oh, okay, now I understand. Maybe I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's like it's returning the piece. This is what I got off of
It extracts. Okay.
Rever, whatever the fuck it's called, Rever.
Can I show you guys something real quick?
Yes.
All right, so like I kind of like went to this website and this is where I found. So right here, like you see what they have here, right? They have like they're working with like a string and they're actually kind of like slicing it. And when you run it, place it here, but when you run it, it actually worked, right? Which is kind of crazy. But like here, for example, this is what I had before, and I kind of changed stuff. And what I'm doing is basically like the same thing. I don't know if my logic is kind of wrong, but for some reason, it's not doing the same thing as here. But even though like my str is basically like a string that I'm passing here, and the slice part, oh, I'm supposed to like turn this to like J. So the slice part is basically like I want to slice that little like index where we find like the whole thing. But whenever I run this, for example, it will just like say something weird like I don't know, it's not a function, or it won't basically like do anything at all.
It might get an infinite loop because I think that's exactly what I'm doing, and it like keeps running for some reason.
Mine is not even getting like an infinite loop.
Oh.
It's just like printing ABCD, 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 ABCD. And I'm returning T here. And when I actually use like T here itself, still the same shape.
Not slicing.
Yeah, but
Bruh.
here,
I'm so confused.
this one works.
Nothing gets removed from T, basically.
Yeah, but this line is supposed to do that.
Yeah, I tried doing that, and
But like, how in the world this one is working? So I thought maybe it's because it's a const. So I created this one, and I kind of like use them again, but still, nothing's happening.
I don't like this one because like I get how to do it. It's just like I don't know what function, what built-in function to use. The fucking slice thing.
I don't know, man. It's black magic.
That's black magic.
Is Jennifer still here? No.
Jennifer.
I hope she's recording though.
Said she'd be back.
Oh, it's still recording.
Okay. But like, look this. This one worked, right? And it index is basically like a count from here to all the way up. So like whatever, and just remove
Is it
all.
just everything after 31 or something?
Yeah. So like everything after 31 will like leave, but the other will just disappear.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's kind of the thing I'm doing here. So everything before sure. Everything like after I will leave, and everything before it will just disappear.
Yeah, I think it's got to do something like what Joe did.
Let me take a look at Joe's code.
Look at Joe's code. I think that's how you have to use slice.
Okay, guys, we gotta make an algo test room where we can put like everything there, because like even here in general, like people will talk later and it will be like hard to find this code.
Yeah, we should definitely have like a algos channel.
Yeah, V, can you take care of that real quick?
Oh, V.
V's not here either.
Violet. Violetta. Violetta.
Here, can I share my screen for a second?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I think I'm kind of getting close, but I'm just not connected with dots here.
I don't get why these things are working.
So instead of using contains or whatever it was before, I don't remember what I was using. I tried using index of. So that way, if it actually does contain it, I'll get the location that it contained it at. And then I can try to slice that out of this first string as well. So like, cause like really what's breaking this works other than this weird thing. Cause it's like A was added, but since A was, here too, it breaks it. It doesn't know that A was the added one because it's just like, it's a weird edge case thing. But if I could remove this A when it matches this A, then when this second one went to check, it wouldn't find it in the original index. And it would be like, okay, well, this is the letter that was added, and it would return it. So like, I just need to, every time we remove it from this one, also remove it from this one. But I don't know where it is in the string to remove it. So that's why I tried using index of to get a position in the first string. So it's like, if there is an index at all that's greater than 0, because it'll return -1 if it doesn't find it. So I was like, if the placer was greater than 0, then delete it from string 2, and then also delete it from string 1.
Would make your life easier, Joe, if you just use another for loop instead of index of.
Yeah, for sure. I was just trying to figure out why I couldn't get it to work like this, but we could just loop through it a second time and do a nested loop.
Exactly. And that way you'd have like another iterator variable to work with.
But I was just sitting there thinking, well, fuck, I can't do it that way because I don't know where it's at. And it just clicked like, what index? If I used index of, it would tell me where it's at, right? But like, yeah, it's not. I can't get it to work. I'm fucking tired. About just like go to bed.
I know, Kiwi, I'm shocked too.
Unless anybody's trying to play 7 days.
No, I'm not enabling you.
Buy me a computer. Thanks.
Oh my God, yes.
I don't know, man. I gotta figure this thing out before I can move on up here because like we
Yeah.
got a logic right? So we
Yeah.
don't. It's just the thing that we have to use, which is a problem. So check this out. Let me use. I don't understand why like all these websites stuff are working here, but like our stuff is not. Let me try something with replace real quick.
Oh, yeah, I swear to God.
And I'll show it to you guys. T.J. Let's see. Please work. And no, it's not working. Fuck. All right. So, Joe, do you mind if I share my screen also? Like,
Yeah, go ahead. Stop this.
Y'all, I'm gonna pop off. Gotta get ready for going out. Amanda's doing something tonight, and she
I
said to be
figured it
ready to
out.
go
I
out.
figured it out, you guys. I know it was wrong. I just fixed it. I think I actually got the right answer.
Tell
this
me,
time.
guys.
Bye.
okay.
Okay, bye, Noel. Enjoy your day.
So, do you guys know why this thing is working and not like so this is just like another thing that I actually try right now. And you can see here, I'll like replace C, for example, and from replace C by like an empty string. So if I save this and I run it, it will work. And you have like a hello, hello C. And here we have like C, which is out. And I try the same thing with like my code right here, but instead of C, I just put like a T J, which is basically going to be the character. Like here. And still not working. So I ABCD. Like, can someone explain me that? Like, what is happening?
Oh, well, you're saying replace C, but what if you had a string with multiple C's in it? Like, how's it gonna know which C to replace? See, I think you're actually giving
Because
it.
we are here.
No. Look at your first thing. It would make more. It would be easier to understand if you look at, the hello CY Adele. That example, You only have one C. So you're saying replace C with an empty string. Well, there's only one C in there. Put another C in there and see if it replaces both C's. Yeah, see what happens. Because you're not giving it a position. So I think it's actually using a regex. Oh,
The C is still there.
it just finds the first C.
Yeah,
Yes.
remove it.
So if you actually now copy line 32 and paste it underneath and see if it can run that again, and then it will find a C again. No, on line 33. You want to see what happens when you run that twice, basically, is what we want to see. Because that would tell us how it works. So now if you run that again. Oh, it didn't
The
do it.
first one, remove this. See the. Oh, we didn't update str. So let me just copy this. All right.
Oh, you need to do str equals str. That's why.
Yeah. So actually, to actually have this, we can copy this and place it like.
Well, at least we know it just finds the first C and replaces
Yeah.
it.
So the second one.
So because it's not using a position, sir, you can't just give it an index. Or you can't give it like a character, because it's just going to find the first one.
This is
That's why
what.
replace is not going to work for this application.
I think I got a working solution, guys, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, let's see that.
Let me show you the difference between what I did. So like when I was using it just now and it wasn't working, I was doing this, right? I had it set like this, if placer is equal to 0. But like when I do that, placer is equal to 0 on the first one because placer is the index of. So 0, there's situations where it does just end up being 0 and it's still true. So I just needed to say if it's less than 0, like less than or equal to 0, and then now it works. So like it'll just return. The reason it wasn't cutting that second letter out is because I was given, it was doing it when the index was 0, which is still technically valid because the first position of the array is index 0. So it needs to be like if placer is equal to -1, you know what I mean? Instead of, or like less than or equal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's
But I
give
think
an
it-
example where the different letter is somewhere in the middle. Let's see if it still works.
So like, that. And then I'll even
And then put F, or no, put G like in the middle of the string.
Well, I got an F in there
Oh,
already.
there's an F. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this console log.
All right.
So like if I delete the F and put it somewhere else, it should just work regardless.
Yeah.
So it's just going to delete anytime it finds a match, it deletes both letters out of the strings. So if it finds an A in both, it'll delete them both. And then when it's all said and done, the only thing that's left in the second string is things that didn't match.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know if there's a better way to do it or if it even passes the delete code thing. So I'll
post that in chat. I'll check it real quick.
What in the world is happening with your code? And why is it happening?
I don't know. It was a process.
Wait, did you post that in
can
general?
see that.
What's that?
Did you post that in general?
He
Oh
did
yeah,
it
I
in
posted
voice
it in
chat.
a voice chat.
Well, what the hell, Joe? You're all over the place.
Yep.
Guys, I found something interesting.
Well, the last time I was in fucking job search.
We're in job hunt.
Ed,
Yeah, job hunt.
do you mind looking at this? So I think I figured out the reason why our code was not working. And I
Wait.
did that by looking at like Joe's code. The reason why our slice was not working, it's because we were not like updating T. So look, can I share my code like for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Wait, Joe, so is your code working?
So like here, for example,
I don't know in leak code.
I just did I just say T is equal to T dot slice J. And when I run that, it's not giving me the answer, but it's basically doing what I want. So on first we have T, which is equal to this, and after this, and after this, and after this, and after this. So I'm supposed to be left by E. But I felt like the first one is now actually taking like the E, the A, which is actually leaving that D here. So normally, if the first one, I have to create like an edge case for the first one to take that A again, and then for like 1, 2, 3, 4 to happen for like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
Yeah,
I'll be
but
with the
the
E.
problem with this though, it's just giving you everything from J to the end of the string. It's like extracting that part.
Yeah, that's because
But
I use
it's not like removing just one character at a position. It's like it works different. So it's giving like an extract from J to the end of the string. That's why Joe had in his solution, he used slice 2 times because you want to get the extract of the string before the position you want to get rid of and after the position you want to get rid of. And the part in between is the part that's like not going to go into the new string.
So we're saying like when I have like A here and A here, the first thing,
Pony boy.
By the way, Joe, that worked on leak code. I don't know if you guys checked.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
posted my result and said you did it, pony boy.
Oh,
so Ed, where can you explain what you were saying about like this solution? I mean, this way of working.
Yeah, so like if you wanted to, for example, get rid of the C and A, B, C, D, you would do,
does anyone hear Ed right now?
Nope.
really?
I hear him,
Yeah,
but it's really tiny.
Yeah, it sounded like you were in a tunnel.
Hold on, let me, I forgot my controller is plugged in, not my nice. All right, you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, that was my crappy laptop speaker.
It's okay.
So yeah, basically, for example, if you wanted to remove C, the way you would do that is you would do slice and you'd give it 0 as the starting position and then 1 as the ending position. That would give you A, B. And then you would do slice again and you do the starting position 1, 2, 3 is 4, which I think is D 0 or 3, I mean, which would be the D. And then you don't have an ending position because that would just be the end of the string. And then you do a plus in between. So you want to get one extract and then you add another extract, and like anything that's left out, it doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a really weird, like roundabout way of having to do
I'm
that.
bad at explaining or putting it into words, but
I think I
Like
see what
think
you're
about if I
saying.
want to remove
So-
if I want to remove the
if-
5th
if
letter
I-
from a string, Serge. If I want to take the 5th letter out of a string, I need to get the first 4 letters and then letters 6 to the end, right? And
Okay.
cut that all out and then concatenate them together, and you just end up losing that one little letter in the middle that you didn't want in there.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's like fucking weirdly
Yeah, you got- you
round up doing it.
Honestly, to be honest with you, you gotta draw that thing for me to actually say it like directly.
Okay,
All
here,
right,
actually,
good.
look, I'll
Yeah.
annotate. real
Oh,
quick.
annotate. Yeah, yeah.
Imagine if
Annotate
the
for us.
string was, if this was your string right here, find the difference, right?
How do we
And you-
spot this up like a for like an infinite loop? Like my stuff is running right now. I want to stop.
Just right click and go to stop or end something or clear or something. There should be like,
You should have like a little stop icon right here. I don't
oh
know
yeah,
why
right.
it's not
Is
in
this-
here.
Oh, right click. I got
At least mine does. When I run, it has a little stop thing that
How
shows
do
up.
I stop it? Just keep going. Oh my god, I'm panicking.
Are you okay, Serge?
Kill terminal. Kill terminal. Kill it.
What?
The code.
Kill the code.
I'm trying to do it.
Do it now. Hurry.
Oh no.
It's gonna blow.
All right, I
your
did it.
computer's gonna blue screen.
What?
Here's your computer's gonna blue screen.
Oh, he's
There we
fine.
go.
Oh,
It did.
stopped.
Oh God, it blue screened.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's,
no.
No.
That's not good, Serge.
I
It's
stopped it.
fine.
I stopped it.
What?
Oh no!
Oh my God, Serge.
I'm not doing it. Hold on. I'm gonna quit Visual Studio.
No, you just right click. Right click.
Where?
Or well, you're a Mac. I don't know if you can right click.
Console.
Quit. I just quit
Yeah,
everything.
there you go.
Or that works too. Sure.
I'm trying to eat here.
Oh,
Never.
I hate this infinite loop. Like,
We're
literally.
having a meltdown.
Don't make me laugh while I'm eating.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, I'm not trying this thing again. All right, so let me see.
Joe, can you go over that code again? So what you did,
Yeah.
just like briefly.
Yeah.
Why? She. Okay. Wait, am I still
I share
recording?
Serge?
Oh, sharing? Yeah.
Yeah, let Joe.
Okay. So placer is the index of the letter in string 1 that matches the letter that I gave it from string 2 in my for loop. So like every loop in my for loop, I'm gonna pass in one of the letters from string 2. If it finds it in the first string, it returns a number that is its location. If it doesn't find it in the first string, it'll return a -1. That's what index of does. So now here I check if the number placer that was set to index of is greater than -1, then grab everything before. Okay, so now we're in string 2, we grab everything before this I, and then everything after that I. So the I gets removed, like it gets left behind, and then we concatenate it back together into string 2 again. And then we do the same thing on string 1. We say everything before that placer, which is where I found the letter I was looking for. So everything before that placer, and then everything after that placer. So the placer itself then gets left behind, and string 1 gets reconcatenated back into everything it had minus that placer. So I'm pretty much looping through the second string. If I find this A in the first string, both of them just gets deleted from the loop, from the string. And then now I move I back 1 because I deleted it. So now I check, I'm checking B. If I find B inside the other string, they both get deleted. And then I move I back 1. And so now I'm checking C, and it just keeps doing that until there's nothing left. Well, the strings are identical, so that didn't work. But you get what I'm saying? So it just keeps going through the process until until there's nothing left in the first string, and then the only thing you're left with is something that wasn't in the original. And it handles duplicates too. So now string 2 just is the difference of the first 2. And the reason it was fucking me up on the first one is because it was like A, and then this one was A. So it was like, it didn't matter. It was like, it was breaking it. So that I just made it so when it found this A, it deleted this A and deleted this A. And well, see, that's still weird though, because then.
Yeah, it should be A and then AA.
Yeah, the way around should be like
Yeah,
that.
like that.
Okay. Oh yeah, duh. Okay. So yeah, it would search this A in this string, it finds it, deletes them both. Well, then it goes to do this one for this A, and since there's nothing there, it returns -1. So when it returns -1 from index of, it just returns string 2, which is what's remaining.
I found a way to make mine work, but I can't explain it.
You just need to fix your splicers. You just got your splice, like this splice right here is just literally cutting everything out of the string that's before this
Well,
position.
didn't he
right
just
here.
say he found a way to make his work?
Yeah, basically I'm doing the same thing as Joe, but like at 2 different places. And
Oh, I'm sorry. I
honestly,
thought you said I want to find a way to make this work.
I did
no.
too.
So what what mine is doing is like he's doing
Here,
the
go
same
ahead.
thing as Joe.
Sir, share your screen.
Oh yeah, sure. So let me just go back to like what I had before and when I was like actually testing stuff. Yeah, I think so. This is what I had, and when I run it, I should have E, which is right here. But the problem though is I was actually testing stuff out. So like if I cut the D, for example, and I run this, we should probably be left with E again. Hold on. Z. Which one did I did before I can? Let me cut the C. And the problem is actually when I had like A, B, we should be left with C. All right, I still already broke it. But the problem that I was having before is like with the A. So if I have A like this, A won't show anything. That's because of the second line right here. But if I actually console like this, I receive my A, which is actually telling me this is kind of hard coded, so I have to fix my slice like Joe said. But yeah, this is what I have. Joe, can you draw like the splice stuff that you were trying to explain to me like right now? Can you try to draw it?
So are you trying to remove J from T? Like you're trying to remove the index J from the string T? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying there is you gotta with your splice, you gotta tell it how many to remove. Let me look.
Wait, no, you're not telling it how many to remove. You're
Yeah.
extracting a piece of that string.
Yeah.
And you're starting in a position, ending in a position.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry. So it's like you need to say 0, J in your splice because you want it to go from 0 to J, and J's exclusive, so it won't include J. So it'll cut off everything before the J. So now that should set your string to everything before the J.
So I have A and I have 2A right here. Actually, let me just start with like the A, B, C, D first, because like A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E. Save it. No, still the same thing. It's weird.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, it's because the first time you slice it, you're just setting it equal to nothing. You're saying when J is 0, slice everything before it
what do you mean?
and set it equal to T. So like I feel like the very first time that happens when index is still 0, you're just setting T to an empty string. Because you're saying like start at the 0 index and slice to the 0 index, non-inclusive. So it would be like an empty string is what gets returned.
So like, what do you actually mean? So like, because once I actually slice the T, I need to update it, right?
Yeah, so you need to set T equal to T dot slice, like you had it. And then how about after, put a plus sign after that. And say T dot slice.
Started to look like an infinite loop for me.
and then in parentheses say J plus 1.
Oh, okay.
So now it'll cut off everything after J and concatenate it together with everything before J and set it equal to T.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, kinda. If this were okay, hold on. So I know that J, for example, is actually having a specific position in my thing, and when I say from 0 to J, it's slicing it from 0 to J. So everything before J will actually be out. And when I say T dot slice J plus 1, I still at that index that is actually not here, but I add 1, and it's slicing from like J plus 1 to like so basically everything before J plus 1 will leave, and everything after will actually disappear, and you'll concatenate both of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
think about it like if
Yeah.
find the difference was your string, your first slice would like say I right there is what you're trying to cut out. Your first slice gets that, and then your second slice gets this, right? And then they get concatenated together into a string, and the only thing that's left behind is that I that you didn't want in there.
Yeah, I think I did something similar. I think it was for the checkbox assignment. So that I kind of remembered of that. Let me see if I can find it. But in the meantime, let me just type those things here.
I think that's working now though, Serge. It looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's check your AA. You might see you're gonna have to need.
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, it seems like it. You might have to. I think it is. Right.
It's working. Well, let me see if I can find this the code, because like over there I just comment stuff and it's much more easier to understand once you read it. I can find it real quick. Let me see if I'm organized. Open folder. Was the to-do assignment or to-do list or something like that? Download work. Let me see. It was a core assignment, and it was to-do list or like something like that. Yeah, there we go. Let me open it up. To-do list, the one with the check mark and stuff like that, right? Oh yeah. I think this is it. Yeah, this is where I did something similar here.
Yeah.
So as of original array is a 3, 3, 3. Passing the original array to J, value not include. So from array.j, adding splicing the original array to J, 0 to J, J value not include array J, and after array.slice J, then okay, after array.slice 0 to J, we have an empty array. Adding to our updated duplicate array, slice. Concatenate the original array, splicing from the next value to the end of our original array. Array.slice J plus 1. So we
Love
slice.
how you put in your
Yeah, I got it.
comments, Serge.
What?
I love how you put in your comments.
Where
Yes. It's like each number represents.
I want to see Didi's code.
What?
Didi,
It's in the general.
can you explain your code to me, Didi?
Yes, please.
I mean, it's pretty simple, I would think. You guys went down like a rabbit hole. And I'm just like, what happened here? So, I mean, I don't know if you
Show
want
us.
I
Yeah.
literally don't understand your code. Like, why would you sort it? Like, what the hell's going on?
because, one sec, let me open it. Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom, boom, boom. What is my screen? I mean, so where my head went is they tell you in the instructions that the strings are like they're unsorted. So my first thought was, well, I want to sort them. So I added a sort. And when you split them, you basically make each letter separate. Oops. And then you sort it. So then if you had like ABC and then E would be like over here.
Wait, what do you mean each letter is separate? Like an array? Does that return an array?
So I had that
When you
before.
do the
returns-
split function, does it return an array?
It returns an array of strings that would have to, right?
Okay.
that.
Oh, so you can actually use split and use the splice method technically.
Yeah, so you can put like the D here and then you can run it and it's gonna sort it A, B, C, D.
Okay.
D.
Yeah, so it turns into an array and then it sorts the array.
But
And then
then
I
how does
compare
that,
them.
how does that like,
Sorted T.
how does that guarantee that you're finding the letter that they added? I don't understand. What if it was like A, B, 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 C, D, 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 E,
Because
A, G, like, and it
see,
was just like, and then
I
you
was
add, like,
that's what I was looking at, but they said like if you add, what was the instruction? Something like, oh, you can only add one, because I was like, oh, well, what if I added like a few different letters? But the instruction said that you only care about adding one different letter.
okay.
But I actually don't, well, if you, well,
Yeah, like, but what if it
Oh,
was like
okay.
A, B, 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 and or like all out of order though?
Okay.
Like it was like,
Yeah, I
no,
can see it. I can see how this works. But it only, yeah, it only works for one added letter.
Okay, can
yeah,
we,
because
Very
okay,
specific.
in your first string, put A, B, 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 C, C, C.
B, 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 C, C, C.
And now on the second one, put A, B, 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 C, C, C. I don't understand. One more C, you're missing a C. Well, you're not even, you don't even have all your C's in your second string.
It still works though.
So yeah, it's only gonna return as soon as it finds something that doesn't match, because they should be sorted.
Next-
So yeah, I get how it works. It's just, yeah.
Oh,
Can
okay,
I-
I see what you're saying.
It's just different, but it still works.
A,
No, I was
A,
just
A,
trying to figure out how.
B, 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 C, B. Okay, it doesn't
Exactly.
match, returns the
Yeah,
B.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can Didi, can you explain it, but from the beginning to the end, real briefly, real quickly, without interruptions?
Yeah, guys. Okay, so first things first, I take the S, so I take the string, I split it, which turns it into an array where each letter is its own string inside the array. Then I sort it. So if it's unsorted, it's sorted by the alphabet. And then I do the loopsie loop for the length of the sorted T, which is this one over here. And then the first instance where sorted S at index I doesn't match sorted T at index I return that, because as soon as at least one of them doesn't match, that's when you just return the letter that doesn't match. At first I was trying to make it so if I were to add like a few different ones, but I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted to. And then I read the problem again, and then they only care about just one additional letter. So then as soon as one of the letters doesn't match, since they should be the same exact, and like I said, it checks A matches A, and then B matches B, and then it matches. And then as soon as the two letters don't match, it's just gonna return this letter at sorted T. So it's gonna take it from the second array, from this one, and return this letter that doesn't match up here and return it. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
You could literally type like a sentence in to the first one and the second one, and then just add one letter to it. You know what I mean? And it's just gonna arrange it so it's like as soon as there's one more of any instance of any letter, then it knows.
Because see, it literally, it's sorted by the alphabet. So as soon as the two letters don't match, it just returns from the second array the letter that doesn't match, and it just stops. That's it.
But if you put booty I, that breaks it.
It's only gonna return the first I, because as soon as it finds one
Yeah.
different letter, it's gonna break out of the loop and just return the first one that doesn't match. Like I said, I was trying to make it match, so like, oh, if I can add more letters, but then I read the instructions and I was like, nah, that's not what they're asking for. So
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Okay,
Good
can you
job.
send your code also? I'll send mine.
huh?
Just
Can
did.
you send like your code into like the Discord chat?
Oh, I did. It's in
Sure.
the morning algos channel, it's in the general channel, and it's in the voice chat channel.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. That's where my mind went. Like I don't even know what you guys did with like the freaking index off and then like slice another.
I mean, I was just thinking more general purpose. I guess generally I try to make things work in multiple scenarios, not like one very specific scenario. Just
The only, just the difference.
you're right. Like I mean, technically, you're solving for this very specific scenario, and that works for this very specific scenario. Because it's very specific, it runs slightly faster.
And you could, like, the only difference is it'll show you the difference of multiple letters. You know what I mean? It just, it can tell you, if you added like that right there, it'll return ETR.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, so you did what I was trying to do, but with, well, we'll give up on it. I was like, nah, we don't need that.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like I saw some
like your
solutions.
though, Diana.
Yeah. Her solution looks like a lot of the solutions in the discussion board on LeetCode.
String. Discussion on LeetCode?
Yeah, they have discussions on these problems.
So
So like people post various like solutions and you can filter it by the language. It's kind of cool.
Wait, let me see. So if
All
you
right, let's
go
do the same thing